hopefully you saw that. That was a right pain in the ass. So we've got the tray on without smashing the fuel tank, which kind of just sits because it's hard plastic. Now we're just trying to get, we've got 2 bolts in the rear. Now we're just trying to get these bolts because the other ones weren't tapped because they're for a tray back, not a well body. So they're not tapped. Those are. So John's just trying to.
That one's not going in.
We'll have to spray it and then get the agar-dugger on it.
That's an idea.
But it's kind of on now. At least we can move it. But we were thinking we've got to take the. John wants to take the rear leaf springs off to get them reset. Maybe. So I thought, well, what's the point of putting the tray on? But well, it kind of suits it now. As you can see, what we were going to do is separate the tray, the outer, leave the center because we can put a flat top on top, and take these off so they're bolt on, bolt off in case of accidents. And the only thing holding it is literally a couple of spot welds there. I think that's it. Oh,
some under here.
Maybe just some underneath there, but the bumper bar's hiding those. And apart from some spot welds there, bolted there, and some more spot welds there, and the same at the front, there's nothing really holding on. There's only a few spot welds.
What I was talking about earlier, with the difference between the XR tubs and the non-XR tubs,
Yeah.
is these. XR tubs are there, and that slides out, and there's an extra hole, so you push them out further so they could get their wider offsets under them. And the FPVs were the same. So they had a skinnier in between the wheels on XR models.
Oh, so they go into that hole there.
Yeah, so these bolts go into that hole there, which then slides forward on that, and there's bolts on the end here that move.
Oh, so then that hole will be in that hole. So this whole structure goes in.
Yep.
Although your shock's going to be pretty damn close.
Yes.
But that whole wheel tub, that whole bit slides in enough to get the offset for
So you can put bigger wheels under.
tray backs.
For some reason, XRs and FPVs all had narrower tub liners.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the skin of this tub line is actually narrow.
And it's just plastic.
And it's just plastic covering it. But this is the removable slidey, inny, outy to adjust for the different models in their wheelbase. Ah, okay. Alright, so that's on. I'll tell you what, trying to drive this thing, it just lights up the wheels on dirt. Literally cannot even put it in drive, it should just light the wheels up. It's no wonder I got bogged down there the other day. Apparently, we're out of COVID. Unfortunately, for the next, what is it, 8 days? 10 days?
14.
To the 14th, till, yeah. We got to wear masks.
I have to, he doesn't because he's at home.
Yeah, so you got to wear a mask, apparently. Because not one single case of COVID has actually been found at WA, but we still have to wear masks because of the danger to society, even though there's no fucking COVID here. Even the guy that actually had it didn't show that bad of symptoms.
And his housemates never got it.
And his housemates never got it. And yeah, so obviously this virulent strain really isn't that virulent. Once it starts hopping from people to people, it decreases its virulency and it's just a normal fucking flu. Well, not flu, it's still COVID, but it's just...
COVID is a flu.
COVID, it's a type of, well, they're all types of viruses, but it doesn't seem to be as bad as what they said it would be. You know, it's so virulent, and yet one person got it. He didn't really get that sick. No one else got it. And yet the whole state was shut down for 5 days because go on temp fake just in case. And then it turns out after these 5 days, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. It's like, well, then why do we still have to wear masks?
And only the Perth and Peel region. Everyone else is allowed to go free now.
Yeah, just metro area and Mandurah. The only reason down south was done was because the guys he lived with went down south. But seeing no one got it, they went, oh, down south's fine. We'll just make it metro area. We didn't get it either. Because it's an election year and everyone wants to go, oh, we're helping you, we're saving you. It's like, well, no, your inconvenience is more because there's not here. Anyway, enough of that shit. So the car is almost complete again. Mind you, this is a different body to the actual car. This we got somewhere else. So, but it all.
This off Jared at our order. New Coupe.
New Coupe. Thanks, Jared. Yeah. Jared, New Coupe gave us this because no one wants well bodies.
Oh, I had to pay for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but bugger all.
Oh, dude.
It's even got the tray top exhaust on it.
Oh, so there's no cutouts.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all right, considering we're going stacks. Anyway, that was a right pain. I think I dented that on the rock, on the brick when I was swiveling it around. But let's get a heat gun and we can pop it out. Easy done. Well, at least the reflectors didn't pop out. That's good. So as you saw, we just ended up tilting it up, backing the car underneath and putting it down. Problem was trying to get it straight enough so we didn't hit the fuel tank. And then these corners, the inner corners, were sitting on the tyre. I didn't want it to go through because they're quite sharpy, kind of, maybe. Thin bits of metal I don't trust. When I've seen a photo of a 12mm spanner go right through the tyre and a rim, I'm not trusting a little piece of bloody tin like that.
Yeah,
not
but
to
that was swung at what speed?
Oh, who knows? Who knows? I mean, how do you get a bloody 12mm spanner right through a rim and a tyre?
I've seen a mill ball go through a heap of tyres.
Anyway, so that's done. I've packed everything inside. So that's something today before it pisses down rain, because we've been... I've got gloves on. It's really hard to handle this rock with. Because we had major fires during the week just north of the city and out a bit, we've been stinking hot. Now it's supposed to be thunderstorms and lightning. Very, very frightening. But it hasn't come yet. So I wanted to move this out of the way because I'm going to move the AU out. Probably just park it up here. Put this where the AU was. So we can take the rear springs off and do whatever. And this can sit. And I can actually use my bloody driveway. Because it's blocked at the moment because of those two. Right. That's on. What are we going to do next?
I'll get dug right down.
I get... Alright. Sure.
And hopefully, if my aunt answers the phone, we pick up our next car.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Parts car.
Yeah, we've got to go pick up another car. Nice. Okay. Say hi, cars. Hi, Daddy, look at us. Don't forget about us, Daddy. Yeah, sure. Well, you're going to be next to get done because I need a ute. And this is the, you probably can't see it. I can't do it with these fingers. It's got a GMV upgrade, so it carries just over 5 tonne. Well, it can pull 5 tonne. It can actually go 2740, whereas most cars can, like, you know, Falcons, 2200. That poor old thing.
Plus a tonne on the back.
Plus a tonne on the back, so it's mega good, but it looks mega ugly. So we got to do something about that and actually get it through Rego again. Anyway.
And then build a 5th wheeler for it.
And build a 5th wheeler because we've got to get cars and shit. So we're going to do stuff. And I was supposed to get it running. I never did. Like everything around here, engines and shit everywhere. Had to replace the tyre on that and haven't done it yet. Haven't used that in over. Oh.
Well, you got to make the clutch work on it.
8
I've
months?
got to fix the internal clutch on mine.
Yeah, clutch. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that shit. Let's get something else done. So we went for a bit of a drive. Got some food. Didn't end up getting me the, what do you call it, roof lining, because Spotlight was chock-a-block. I wasn't standing in line for 40 minutes. Screw that. So we went to his place, picked up the tailgate and the roll bar. Roll bar came out of an XC, right? We ended up sticking it up on his, strapping it down because it couldn't put it on anything else because you'll see, it's huge. Well, there's the tailgate, so that's the stand tailgate. So there's the XC bar. As you can see, it fits within, which is what they probably would have done the XC. So the differences in size of the cars aren't that much. I mean, obviously there would have been plastic liner for your tub plastic, but that sits pretty damn close to those tabs. The that thing, bend that down. But the way it sits, it's got to be pretty damn close. And then that's what we were worried about. So if we bend those tabs down, we can have this sit down flush, and we can work. Or do you want to do we cut them off?
Or do we hammer them flat?
Or do we need them? Why don't we just cut them off?
All right, let's cut them off. Let's cut them off.
I'm going to cut stuff. Hang on. Want a video?
Yeah.
Yay!
Dead battery.
Yay! old trick.
You'll be able to bash that out now. Bend it off.
The fuel tank there too, isn't there?
He'll be right.
Alright. So that's one down. We can go, I'll have to grind it. Hang on. Right, so I've cut those little tags off, and as you can see, it almost sits flush, and it almost sits perfectly in line, although there's a bit of a gap there. But the same with the other side. Once those little brackets were taken off, she sits dead. Oh. But the only problem is the rear, although it sits behind the wheel, it's not at the same angle. And we've got screws there, and it just touches there. So it touches the wheel well. It's got the bolt in the wheel, one bolt in the way, which we can easily take out. But it's not flush, it angles up. The only way we can deal with that is if we put spacer plates under the front to level the back up, which we might do because there's the roof line. Well, there's the side view. Now that's an XB XC onto a XD. Now remember, on the XBs and Cs, that cab was actually curved, not curved, but it had a lean in it to match the bar. Now then, these new ones are straight, up and down almost. But if we, you see there's a gap, a few mil between the top of the bar and the top of that. So if we jack up the post here so we can level out the rear, that will almost be flush. Although it's a bit low in the center, not so much at the side. So the sides might stick up a little bit more, but the center will be flush with the roof. So the sides, which are just about flush now, will be higher. Nothing we can really do about that, but we need to get those rear perpendicular, which means we'll have to space the front up a bit, just a couple of mil up, so then those flatten out. And then we can bolt that down. But that's on this tray. You want to stick a bloody actual 1 tonner tub on it, tray back. So that changes everything again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll work it out.
But that is very close. Very, very close to what we'd need, almost factory. I mean, we could just put shims on the back of here and just make it bolt in anyway. It is a race car.
Yeah.
We just shim the back and bugger it. Don't bother lifting the front up. And just shim those, so then that, or washers or whatever, so then that's got meat to attach it to the floor. Leave the front where it is and just leave the roof as that. I know I should probably try and lift that front up a little bit. We've still got to drill holes in the front anyway, because there is no bolt holes. So seeing there's no bolt holes in this, there's nothing to actually bolt it down to. The only bolt holes are actually in the back, not on the bottom. And we might not have a back, so we need to bolt it through the bottom. So if we lift that up a couple of mil, then that might just work. Now we got, yeah, so that might just work. So there we go. X series bar on a B series. Not too dissimilar, considering that angle there is almost the same as that angle there. It's just that's pretty naff. That doesn't fit. But hey. And it's a fair bit. She's fairly chunky. It's not heavy, but it is. She's chunky. Chunky like one of my ex-girlfriends. That's actually pretty. That's a pretty straight leg. What's the name in it? Is it? So it matches. Okay. Just the hinges are a bit stiff at the moment. So actually, come here. Hold that.
hinge is stopping you on this side.
Oh, that's right. That's the one that won't move.
Get the hammer out. In the back of the ute?
No, it's just sitting right there.
Oh, you got one there too.
Damn it. I really wanted to sit that on.
We'll lift it off, we'll hammer it flat and we'll sit it on. Or bend them out and we'll bolt the thing up. We got bolts.
Yeah, but not the factory bolts.
No, they're only nut and bolt from factory anyway, I think. Or is that threaded? Out.
No.
Worst cameraman in the world.
Why does this not shut? No.
Because you're too low. That's why it won't shut, he's too low. Yeah, we'll get back to you.
The next day, because my battery went flat on the phone, me and Jono spent 2 hours standing in the rain just gibbering about what we're going to do. Anyway, what we've going to do is, yeah, spacer plates, lift it up, and then tail lights and get all that stuff and some bolts for this tailgate. But here's a kind of a thing of how it will look like. Now, of course, these stacks are not going to be that tall. They're going to only be as tall as the actual roof. They're going to come down to here. So, tippy tips of that stack will only be about here. Got to cut them off, but we need to get this in to see where this sat. And there was three braces. Braces? Yeah, just things. So I ground one off, cut it out, and that fits in just right. So where it sits, we're going to have to cut the floor out. As you can see, it's right up against the spacer. Now the muffler will actually go inside this because it's 5-inch wide, 5, nearly 6 inch, so it'll actually sit inside, and then at the bottom of the muffler will literally, wherever we cut this off, that'll be welded to it, or at least tacked. So the muffler will literally sit, and the muffler's only about that long, I think. So literally the muffler will sit almost all the way inside the actual house, this housing. So it's got to be only a 2-inch pipe that's got to come up through there. So we might, I don't know. But this is kind of, and so it's just got to come up there. So that's kind of like where it's got to sit. So that's what it'll basically look like. Except with the, you know, all those lights on the roof, and he wants side markers, the truckies type lights across the front, and shit everywhere. But that's kind of an idea of where how it's going to sit. That that XB hoop is actually not a bad fit, so we just got to lift up the front, and it just fits inside real nice. And so that sits pretty good. So we just got to lift the front up about 20 mil, we reckon, and that'll bring that down. It'll also bring that bar up to line with the roof. I've got to weld some 3 mil plate on the back of that bar to mount the spotlights, and then we cut this off to suit, and that's basically where it's going to sit, and the exhaust will then route up through that. We may not get it done by the time it's actually ready for its first usage, its first actual comp, so we may not get that done. So we're going to cut the exhaust off just behind this rear bumper so it doesn't melt that rear bumper, and have most of it in there, so the exhaust won't be done. Something else might not be done. We're going to get the rear leaves reset, and I've got a set over there off an RTV, which are pretty much the same. It's only the hangers that are different, so I'll use those, get those reset, swap these out, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, so that's what we did this weekend. So, and the X, and then, so I move stuff around, so the OU's there. He's a pretty one. I'll try and get onto that. It's been raining all weekend, as you know, and what is it, 5:30 on the Monday arvo? It's actually cleared up. Not a cloud in the sky. So the rest of this week should be good to do some roof lining stuff, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Like, subscribe, comment, tell him how bad an idea this car is for a drift burnout car. Tell him how good an idea it is for a guy with a disability to have a burnout drift car that he can do and build all by himself. Well, not all by himself. Almost. With the help of a few people and a few parts and stuff. And I've got to change out those lights. We're going to try and put it together and have it running so I can get a permit on it to drive it down to his workshop. Where he works, workshop, so he can do the tail shaft loop like he did on his brother's BA Falcon. Yeah, EB Falcon. Yeah, he's doing it the same way. So I'm gonna drive it down there. So we're gonna try and get all this stuff put on it. We've got to get a rear wiring harness because that is gone. So we're going to have tail lights, but basically we're going to wire everything up, put the new headlights in, put the bull bar on, wire it up, probably take the stacks off, but basically get it running and drive it down there. So it's going to be fun seeing that on the road for its probably only road appearance. So we'll see how we go anyway. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, Facebook page, blah blah blah, and we'll catch us next time, and we'll see you around on the next project, 1 or 2 or something. I don't know. We'll see. Cheers. Hooroo.